Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is August 28th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I gotta say, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited for this week. We got our Super Bowl. It's here. That's why we're recording on Wednesday morning. It's the Super Bowl. We had to wait to get everything in except for Jay. And
Big Jay speaking this morning. Are you worried that we're going to jump the gun and we should have waited to record until after he speaks? So we can hear about the tour, our partners, our strategic investors, our players, and yes, our fans.
The good news about this podcast is if we miss anything,
we got Friday.
We got Friday to talk about it.
Hey, we're barreling down. I got a good question for you. Very good Shotgun Start question for you. Barreling down on Labor Day weekend.
Oh, I love Labor Day.
I think for my money, might be the best holiday weekend. I think of course, Christmas is like a better holiday, probably. Halloween, fun. I think it's the best weekend. You got the restart of college football. Ideally, some good weather, like some kind of sweet spot weather, maybe hot. It's up there. I think Labor Day weekend is up there. Like, it might be the top. It definitely supersedes, passes Memorial Day weekend. I'm not saying for the purposes of Memorial Day, like the point of it. I think Labor Day as a weekend might be number one.
I love Labor Day. I will say I got married on Labor Day weekend. So it's now my anniversary supersedes it.
Yeah.
So I kind of lost Labor Day. I've lost Labor Day. Do you think, here's a question.
You surrendered.
Do you think I can make my own Labor Day and celebrate Labor Day next week?
I don't think that's how it works. I think you can in your own head, but the rest of the world will continue on.
Here's the question, though. Like, what do you need anybody else to celebrate Labor Day?
Kind of. I think it feels like sort of a communal thing. You get the barbecue going, you get the football going on Saturday. You
can do all those things the next weekend.
You could, but you just don't have the benefit of that extra day off coming down.
You could. Technically, I could do it.
Right, but I'm saying the rest of the world is just not operating on that schedule. I think it's up there.
We could make it a company policy.
We could.
It'd be Labor Day 2.
We could. The problem is we're all in different areas of the country. So.
What if I said Labor Day doesn't exist on the company calendar?
Feels like the National Labor Relations Board would come after your ass, and we might have an inquiry. You're going to be called before some sort of employment.
I get sent like workman's comp certificates from like different states. I have no clue what to do with them.
I can't imagine you would.
It's like from like this. It's like the state of Georgia.
I feel like you're opening us up for a potential like legal issue right now. Just saying,
that's
like
true.
You're just tossing pieces of mail aside. PJ, make sure you cut this at the end. All right, we're moving in. Prominent front of mind is the Tour Championship. If you can't tell right now, as the starting strokes are loaded into the blocks. Scotty's already halfway around the track. Whoever Justin Thomas is starting a mile behind him, and we're ready to go at Atlanta.
Can I just get a take out there?
Well, that's why we have this podcast.
In the last month, I've played 2 historic championship venues that have undergone massive projects, renovations, restorations in Interlaken and Medina 3. And they're both extraordinarily better golf courses. They're both really cool places. They're both like in these huge markets. You know what sucks?
What?
There's like literally no dates for them. There's not even USAM dates.
What do you mean?
Like they can't host anything. Like Interlaken's got the 2030 Women's Open.
Yeah.
I guess Medina's got the P Cup.
Yeah, the Great President's Cup, huh?
But they're rerouting the golf course for the P Cup.
By the PGA Tour setup command?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just idiotic decision. Apparently, one of the struggles.
Let's get it. Let's do it. Whatever. 2032 President's
I'm gonna
Cup
say this is
preview
an
pod or whatever.
unsubstantiated rumor.
Yeah.
This is classic. This is a classic PGA Tour thing. Unsubstantiated here.
Yeah.
They're starting on 5.
Okay.
Which is across the lake from the clubhouse.
I was going to say, is that like, why? Is that near the clubhouse? Is there?
It's like so it's across the lake from the clubhouse.
Does it have something to do with they want matches ending near the clubhouse? I assume.
Yeah, so they want to maximize their corporate presence on like 16's this new drivable par 4, which will be really cool. 17's a par 3 on the water, like so they want to maximize 18. Then you come up and they'll have all the grandstands there.
Sure,
but it'll be 14. You know,
you want to maximize corporate presence, in my opinion.
So, anyways, one of the issues with moving to 5 is apparently they don't have a putting green over there.
Okay,
they're saying, well, we don't have a putting green. It's, well, you're starting on the 5th hole.
I mean,
across the freaking lake.
Can't you just like mow some grass down? How many guys need to be putting at one time for a President's Cup? 4?
Well, that's the other thing, right?
Just do it 5x5 little patch somewhere. I think, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't think Medina just should have to acquiesce to any of this bullshit. Tell them to go pound sand. Well, the tour is like incredulous that there's no putting green out in the middle of the property on the other side of the lake.
They aren't incredulous. I don't think they're incredulous. I guess it's allegedly it's like an issue, a logistical issue.
Oh my God. Those first world problems.
It's a golf course with two giant putting greens right next to the first tee.
Roll some putts, get in the cart and go. I don't know.
The other thing, they just redid their putting green in front of the clubhouse. It's like an iconic putting green.
Yes, on the circle there or whatever. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's in front of this historic clubhouse. They just redid that. Anyways, just this is the tournament organization that's running the Tour Championship. Well,
apropos Andrew Green's work, they were able to add a little putting green next to the new first tee, apparently. Like, I don't know. There was some sort of...
Is it the first tee or the 10th tee?
I can't keep it straight. I mean, it was at one point the 10th. I think now it's been the first for a handful of years.
Is it the first or the 10th for the members now?
I don't know. That's a fair... I think
nobody's asking the tough questions in that.
But there was part of his work was adding like a putting green or maintaining like this putting green next to this first tee, which in his notes.
I think it rolls into the first tee.
Yeah, in his notes, it was all about like first tee, making sure there was enough room for build out, the grandstands. You know, you got to have a tunnel entrance with smoke and things like that. I imagine. I don't know what they got going on there, but that was a big part of his architectural restoration, redesign notes, whatever it is. But
I'm surprised they let Andrew Green do it and didn't bring in Lanny as a player, as a potential consultant. The great Lanny Watkins, golf architect.
Are you referring to TPC Craig T. Nelson Ranch, the $15 million?
Yeah,
that they're just going to light on fire.
Yes,
and smoke into this Texas sky.
Honestly, if I was going to create a list of architects that I'd hire for a job, I don't know where Lanny Watkins would fall.
I mean, is he an architect? I guess he's probably done some
I don't
stuff.
even think he would have been on the list because I wouldn't have thought of him as a golf architect.
Does he live in North Texas? I'm trying to understand the connection. Like, why is he the guy they went to? He's calling Champions Tour golf, as PJ has made us well aware. I mean, I got to be honest with you. Lanny cracks me up. Like his wardrobe.
He was born in
his
Richmond,
head just kind of
Virginia.
sits on top of his body there. There's no neck. He's a Virginian. He went to Wake.
He lives in Dallas.
Okay, well, there you go.
Per Wikipedia.
Okay, there you go. Well, he's local. He's got a local investment. He can go out to the site every day. and kind of play in the dirt. You think he's in there working in the dozer?
Something I found humorous is that I've heard that your article where you suggested that they better use of the 15 million would be building houses and selling the property. that article did make some rounds apparently around the HQ. There were some people that were opposed to the Lanny hire that were using it as reasons why it was a bad idea.
You know what I love? Super Bowl talk, and we're talking about a President's Cup that's like 5 years from now or wherever the hell it is.
A P
and
Cup.
The potential Craig T. Nelson renovation. The P Cup, the Urine Cup in 3 years. When does Medina have it? 2026? Okay, so the next American-based one. Great. I mean,
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's good. They're going to the Heartland.
I'll say this. It would be way more awesome if they stuck to the routing and the finish was like the super dramatic stretch of holes. It's like a rare course that ends with the most dramatic holes, but it's like, no. Let's put those in the middle of the back nine instead, and we're going to end with 1, 2, 3, 4, which they're nice holes, but nothing compared to the last four. The last four are like crazy cool.
Well, you don't know.
We don't want to end our matches with cool holes. Let's end them with really, probably the least interesting holes.
Corey Connors will have putted his way out of it by, with the 14th hole. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyways.
The other funny thing, this can parlay into East Lake talk.
We'll see about that.
Players do not like different things. I think it's pretty clear this week that the players are not thrilled with the new golf course.
You can read between the lines, read on the lines. It seems like they've been put on the back foot.
So anyways, with the P Cup at Medina, their reroute, there's a I don't know, I wouldn't call it controversial, but it's going to be a feature that elicits reactions. There's an out of bounds fence
that
runs.
Yeah.
So it runs along the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th holes on the left side. So the P Cup routing that the tour has discovered, they went out and found it in the dirt. They found the new routing. Go out, drive across the lake, start on the 5th tee. It starts with 3 straight holes without a bounce on the left. I'm sure that's really going to make players happy.
Oh, they're going to be so mad. Hope you don't have the two-way miss going or double cross there.
I had the two-way miss going yesterday. I hit 4 balls out of bounds in 2 holes.
With match play, though, it's kind of nice. You can just pick your ball up. Or best ball, 4 ball. You just kind of pick your ball up. All right.
I hit 4 balls out of bounds in 2 holes, but I was attempting to play as close to the sun as I could.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I had to test the boundaries.
Yeah.
Can I pull this off? Couldn't do it.
All right. That's your 2026 President's Cup preview.
Let's talk about.
How did you parlay that into East Lake like you said you were going to?
It sounds like I don't think players will like 3 straight holes out of bounds. And I don't think the players like the new Andrew Green design. Doesn't seem like
they just don't like new. You know what they want? And Rory kind of laid it bare at Caves Valley, like whatever that was 4 years ago. He's like, we're kind of tired. Don't punch us in the face. We want to make some birdies. We want to get around and just get through August. I mean, you collect $25 million or whatever on your way in. I don't know if that matters a ton to people like Rory and Scotty and the upper echelons. But
I think it still matters. It's $25 million.
I think it does too. I read some newsletter that said it's more than Tommy Fleetwood's entire career earnings. Just in one day, you could make that. It would be 85th on the money list, all-time career money. It would be like 15th on the all-time DP World Tour money list. One day in earnings. So it's a lot of money. But it seems like the Andrew Green deal at Eastlake has flummoxed them a little bit. Victor said it feels like I'm defending on an entirely new golf course. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a hot take or a critique, but you can kind of read between the lines. Like everything's new. Everything's completely different. Scotty seems a little perturbed, says he wants to play down the wrong fairway at 18, talks about how it was instantly recognizable that like Oak Hill looked like Oak Hill. Other rumors that players just aren't. It's changed. I don't think they love change. Let's boil it down.
Well, the best is 18.
They're mad they can't make Eagle.
Well, Andrew talked about this on the pod, I think, that I did on Friday. It was a short little discussion with him.
Yeah.
But the old 18th originally was like, I've got like a news for people. So if you remember the old 18th fairway, remember how it had terraces? Where
it looked terrible. If I can just say that, my amateur opinion, it looked like shit.
So I got the like generally hills just slope downward.
Yes.
To lows.
Yes.
Like the way they're formed is river or water forms them. So they have these gradual slopes to them.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So at some point, I think it was Reese terraced the fairways.
Oh, that's great.
He terraced them to give flat lies to players.
Like they're going up the bleachers at a stadium.
Exactly. Because you know what? The best players in the world need a flat lie to attack a par 5. So now it's just a gradual slope down.
They got a downhill lie playing to a
par 5. Yeah. Like it's a lot harder.
Uh-huh.
But why would we want to see the best player in the world have to hit a shot from it? Like, honestly, when I think about, like, and this is like playing with ZB, who, like, he hits it, like, as far as I do. Maybe even a little shorter when we both pop it.
Humble brag. You should be on the tour.
Well, I mean, ZB is the most incredible tour player in the world. He's
I'm joking. Yeah.
It's amazing. He's there. But anyways, when I've played with him, I think the shot I think about the most from ZB ever is he was on this severe downslope on a par 5, and I was in the same spot, and he pulled out a 3-wood and just hit this towering shot.
Yeah.
And I pull out 3-wood, and I can't hit it like more than like 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just walking down the fairway, like, how did he do that? How did he hit that shot? These are the things that we want to see the best players in the world do. We want to see, oh my God, like, look at this. It's on like a 5% grade downslope. And this guy just hit a 3-iron, towering in the air, stopped it on dime. Like, that is amazing. That's like highlight plays. Like you talk about, that's when a quarterback, that's when Caleb Williams avoids 3 players, rolls to his left, throws across his body, and drops it right in the bucket to Rome Odunze. That's what makes you go, wow.
Yeah.
We need more of that.
Off a downhill lie. Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I'll say this. I hope it's great. It looks good. They needed to do something. I love the tour. The tour is like all architecture nerds now. All the content. It seemed like they were very territorial. Nobody could do anything. Now they're just releasing nothing but architecture content and flyovers and hole notes and things like that.
Well, it's all state run. I think
it's crazy.
They made the hire and they dispersed all the materials.
Yeah. And then in the notes, I love like, well, we got to move this tee onto the other side of the fairway, other side of the path, other side of the hazard. We got to push this tee into the other hole. Like they're stretching it. Andrew Green seems great. I got to say, looking at the aerials, the routing stinks. Like the course is just up and down, up and down, up and down. It reminds me of Firestone. I don't know that it will play that way at all. Might play differently. The routing just looks, and I realize they're constrained by an urban area, and it's a little rectangle plot of land. And maybe that's Donald Ross's fault. And I'm speaking ill of the dead.
I might try and get you popped for that. I'm gonna call up Andrew and say defend Eastlake's routing.
Well, if it's not his fault, he's trying to restore the quote unquote greatness of Eastlake. I'm speaking of Donald Ross. That guy didn't know what he was doing.
I got news for everybody.
Just looks up and down. It's all up and down.
Sometimes there never was something great somewhere. And
Yeah.
I have legitimate questions as to whether Eastlake was ever great or we just fell in love with the history that Bobby Jones played a lot of golf there.
Could be it. Calamity Jane. But nevertheless, we're excited. We're fired up for that tour championship. I'm excited to see a new course, a changed course, I should say.
Hey, can we do a little cleanup real quick?
Yeah.
We got to let people know what happened with the event of the week last week. The APGA Cisco Invitational.
Not the event of the year, but the event of the week. What happened? What a hard pivot.
Well, I just figured we could bounce here, bounce back.
Okay.
I think we
Gregory
finished up
Odom.
court. Gregory Odom Jr., not Greg Oden.
Worked out the knee issues. Kevin Durant's winning gold medals. Greg Oden's winning APGA events.
Every time I see Greg Odom's name, I think about Greg Oden.
I sat behind Greg Oden at a basketball game last
That'd be
December.
Awful.
It was amazing. It's like, what's
Could
he
you
doing
see anything?
Here? No. It was a pleasure to see him. I gave him a high five. My kids were in awe. I was with my kids. But yeah, it was good to see him. Just forgot about him. But
I think we need to have your dad on an episode to talk about playing golf with Big Z. My listeners are going to be amazed to learn that your dad, regular golf partner.
I don't know about regular, but he has multiple times. They coach basketball together in the Cleveland area. Played with Z's first time ever. And Z had stock clubs. He's 7'3". He had, went to Dick's, not club champion. And he was playing with stock clubs off the rack. He's 7'3". Big Z's amazing guy. Anyways, neither him nor Greg Oden was in the Cisco APJ Invitational.
While we're on NBA centers playing golf.
Yeah.
My wife asked this question when we were watching the Olympics. I don't think we covered it. But why was Pau Gasol involved with the Olympic ceremony? Golf ceremony. My wife asked this question. She's like,
Spanish.
Who's that? And what's he doing up there? Well, she asked, who is that? And I was like, that's Pau Gasol.
Yeah. I know he's a golf
all-time
nut.
great NBA player, golf nut. And she's like, why is he up there?
That's a fair question. Maybe he's just a IOC.
I don't know why he's up there.
I don't know. It's a fair question. He was at the basketball. I know that, which makes a little more sense. But Gregory Odom Jr., neither Pau Gasol, Z, or Greg Oden, Gregory Odom Jr. wins your Cisco APJ event invitational at Spyglass by 2 over Kevin Hall from Cincinnati. Ohio all over the leaderboard here between Kevin Hall in Cincinnati, Troy Taylor in Westerville, and Chase Johnson, West Palm Beach listed, but he's originally from Barberton. So we hit all of Ohio on the top 10 of the APGA invitation.
Must have been growing up on Lake Erie. Must have been that.
Hey, did you see Lake Michigan's not even swimmable? They got E. coli everywhere. It doesn't seem very great. Beach is closing. How great is it? You can't even go in it. It seems like I'd rather go to Lake Erie where you can swim.
These are just things that happen when you live on a Great Lake. You know this. You're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. You know that there's just a couple days a year that the Great Lakes close.
Yeah, I'm being disingenuous. Not when I grew up. I didn't know. I don't remember this tradition of closing a couple days a year because of flesh-eating diseases. I don't remember that. I didn't have that. At my Great Lake.
You're being completely disingenuous.
The annual summer
yours
tradition.
just catches on fire. I'm sorry.
No, that was the river, not the lake. Don't confuse the two.
Would you rather swim in the Cuyahoga River or Chicago River? I think I'd rather swim in the Cuyahoga.
I don't. Neither sounds really appealing.
The Chicago River is one of the most disgusting things in the world.
The high school crew team would do crew every morning on the Cuyahoga, and I was like, that sounds. I don't know. That's a lot.
What a fancy boy! You got high school crew.
I don't know. It was an extracurricular for kids to try. everybody.
Anyways.
Anyways, I'm not even gonna. We're so far off course. I'm not even gonna go into that.
This was a great.
Gregory Odom wins the APGA Invitational.
Shot 69. Our Chicago boy Brian Orr, tough final round. It looks like he was leading. Shot 78 in the final round.
That's tough. Seems like that's
but that's
an
what can
Illinois
happen.
special.
That's what can happen. He went to Miami of Ohio. He's got Ohio ties. He's got Ohio ties.
All right.
I bet he remembers playing in the State Am with me.
Yeah.
Now
Did
he's
you play it? Did you beat him in the Illinois State Am? Clip him?
I think we're right around the same. That was the one that was the last State Am I played. I actually withdrew.
I remember that.
To go do open all night. That was the last.
That was maybe the sort of ancestral father of the shotgun start. It was when we screwing around doing video. What was that? Troon Open or something, or Birkdale 2017.
Yeah. So that was I played the first 2 rounds with Brian Orr.
You withdrew for work to pursue content goals, and here you are. 7 years later. All right, Cisco APGA Invitational. That's Cisco. The circuit continues. They have the Billy Ho in October. Thanks to them for their support of the APGA and our work here, this podcast. What do you want to talk about with Eastlake? Anything more? Scotty Scheffler's 10 under. Why does that make you laugh?
We're 6 years into this. It is the most comical thing in the world.
Hey, PJ,
it's just a preposterous tournament.
PJ, did you?
It's ridiculous. PJ. I can't believe that they've stuck with this for 6 years.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. You do golf one way every week, of the year, and they shout about match play, and then all of a sudden, and I love we'll get a good leaderboard on Sunday, and you'll have Steve Sands or whoever on the broadcast,
God,
the starting
no.
stroke,
please no.
And whoever Dan Hicks. The starting strokes, they talk about it, but we got a pretty good leaderboard here. It's a pretty good situation we got cooking. It's I think they would have that, or there's 30 guys. They would have that whether it was match play. They would have that whether it comes together. They haven't gotten totally jammed. There have been some snoozers. I would say the Cantlay one where he just kind of kept everybody at arm's length. DJ, it's happened.
I'll tell you what actually makes it less likely to have a great leaderboard. Is having
lead.
Half the field start 10 shots back. That actually greatly increases the chance of having a bad leaderboard.
It is preposterous on its face. In execution, it makes you look silly.
Well, what I love about it, my favorite part
there's a shadow freaking leaderboard for OWGR purposes, illegitimate in OWGR eyes.
My favorite part about this, which is magnified by this year, is that it doesn't matter how great you were. They're saying that the regular season matters with the starting blocks.
They cross themselves up too much with what they say.
So they're saying that you have to play well all year to get this position that Scotty Scheffler got. But it doesn't matter how great you were all year, because it doesn't matter if you're 20,000 FedEx Cup points ahead. You only get your 2-shot cushion.
2 shots.
You could be 1 point ahead.
Well, it's a playoffs. It's not a season.
I get that.
The 73-win Warriors didn't necessarily win.
Well, that's because of other reasons.
They didn't get to start with a 25-point lead in the first quarter.
It's because they had a scummy suspension.
Yeah, right. That's what stopped
because the NBA
Kyrie and
wanted
LeBron from going 41 each, and Kyrie dotting it.
They wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done that if Draymond was there.
Sure, that's just an incredible. I wish the internet was around for Michael Jordan's heyday, and we could just sort of fact check every little gift he got. Every little fraudulent twist and turn in his career, but no, he just got the coast
They do it with
by.
the push off. The push off. That's one that the internet loves. He pushed off on Byron Russell.
Where I'll push off on you is and defend the Tour Championship. And I won't defend the
I love
starting
you defending.
strokes.
Defending
Won't
the
defending the
most
starting
ridiculous.
strokes. I think the composition of this field is actually precise and perfect for what you would want for a playoffs. Now, execution and all that, and maybe you want it rotating and all that stuff. But the top 10 right now, and I wrote a little bit about this in the Fried Egg newsletter, is what you would want for a perfect playoffs. You have the two all-time dominant great seasons are 1 and 2 in Xander and Scheffler. You have guys who get hot, playoff Jimmy, whoever. Keegan Bradley and Hideki are right there. They got hot in the playoffs, and they're there with a chance to win the championship because they played well in the postseason. And you have guys that were consistently great to, good all year. A Sanjay, a Sahith, like guys who had very, very good years consistently from start. Colin Morikawa didn't win. Very, very good year. So you have diverse ways to, it's not just all the guys who played well the last 2 weeks. It's not just all the guys who had, won a bunch during the year or won during the year. It's like a diverse top 10 to 15 of, it's the precise composition you want for the playoffs. Now, should they all be starting, at 10 and 6 and 5 under? Different. Should it be rotating from Eastlake? Has Eastlake gotten tired? Maybe. I kind of contend, and this sounds nihilistic, but it's just we just want to fix something to say we want to fix it. And we'd be gassed by the Tour Championship no matter where it is, how it was done, and it just would be what it is. And it's, they keep it at Eastlake because it's convenient, and the Southern Company and Coca-Cola and this, that, and the other, and they have their chalets and all this other bullshit, and it's easy to do year over year. Do I think it's the best version of itself? No. But I think when we throw out all these fixes, I think we'd fix something and still just be uninspired because it's late August and we've had golf forever.
God, that's such a depressing state.
I agree.
That's such a depressing viewpoint. That's ridiculous. That's
listen to the players, okay, Andy. They don't want to do this anymore. They want to get to their postseason, their off season.
This is like the complete opposite of anybody that's ever built something. This is why the tour sucks. Is that nobody gives a shit in HQ. None of them are incentivized. Think that's true. None of them are incentivized. Care. No. This is the classic innovator. This is working at a giant company. The vast majority of people work there because they don't want to take any risk. If you started,
I don't disagree with that.
If you started a tour and you said, I'm going, well, this is not a good example because, all right, if you started a tour and it wasn't run by Third Leg Greg and preposterously, a bunch of idiots, you would have something, you would create something that was coherent and you would care about how your season ended. I mean, there's so many levels to why this is an awful. I mean, I think that we've talked over the years, over the 6 years, about how many reasons this is a bad finish to the PGA Tour calendar. There's a million reasons. You go on every layer, having permanent sites that determine what you consider the gold standard.
I think that's bad. I agree.
Having permanent host sites that are promote horses for courses is idiotic. It's dumb. It's bad. I was listening to the Fried Egg Pod this week with Joseph. Joseph was talking about how Scotty, Eastlake has been bad to Scotty. We're going to see, and Xander has been really good too. And the flaw of having a tournament course every year that determines somebody's final position on what you consider very important, your season-long points list, have a golf course that has an outsized influence on it that clearly promotes certain players and takes away from other players. That on its face is a huge farce. That would be the Major League Baseball getting people to the World Series and then playing on a set ballpark that promotes that drastically lefties promotes pitchers, lefties, righties, or something. That's what the tour is doing with 2 of their 3 playoff sites. It's insane.
farcical
like
right field at Yankee Stadium.
it's actually like really like this year. I never thought about this the last few years, but this year, that's one of the things about the playoffs that's really bothering me is like the idea that like we have these like set like golf courses that promote, like I would love to see tons of variety in them.
All right. So, yes, from a competitive standpoint, it's pretty bad. I agree they could rotate it around.
On every level, every single year, this set of tournaments gets worse. And if you're running a tour,
why is it getting worse?
Well, like every year you find more holes.
Yeah.
You find more holes than what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I if it's a big, make it a major, rotate its spots, make it a celebration. You know, if it's a big event.
God. You just think about like how cool you could make it. Like a perfect example, I just played 2 golf courses that would probably welcome these types of events with open arms that were freaking awesome in major markets.
Seems a lot easier to host 30 guys.
Chambers Bay's talking about hosting live events because they've been just like passed by pro golf. Like that would be cool. There's a bunch of courses like I would imagine like a place like Olympic Club would host this. I think like there's a bunch of cool courses across the country that would host this event. Like I think it would be cool if you went to like Omaha Country Club. I know that's like a random place, but could you imagine? Yeah, could you imagine the fans if you went to Omaha?
Wild. Yeah. I mean,
it's a cool golf
sort
course.
Of with Louisville, right? Having this kind of dynamic. If you move it around, I agree. It makes it feel probably a little more major, a little more special. You need the players and sponsors and all that to buy in, which speaks to your point about this being too massive a company tied down with too many stakeholders and competing interests and all these voices shouting about stuff, and so they just default to comfort. And what's the easiest, what gets past the fewest amount of shouts. Yeah, I agree with you from a competitive standpoint. Do you agree with me that the composition of the field, they've kind of got that right? I don't think it needs to be 30. It could be fewer players.
I think that's the thing about the playoffs is that it's the most exciting in rounds 1 and 2.
Why?
Like this event,
of the stakes.
Yeah, because of the stakes and who's getting in. Like the most compelling part the most compelling part about the playoffs is the relegation of like you didn't clear this hurdle.
Yeah.
So to me, like,
what's the most compelling part?
One of the interesting things would be like, so if relegation and people not making it is the most compelling part of the first 2 weeks, how can we introduce that component into the final week? And that would be like it's 30 players and maybe there's a cut. And there's benefits. Maybe there's benefits to the X players that make it past that cut in the event. And I know that would reduce the player, but that's where it would immediately make sense for like a match play thing.
Yeah.
I think also like if we think about the metamorphosis of this event, maybe the biggest mistake that is unrecoverable mistake that the tour made and their broadcast partner was for a couple years making it all about money. I think it like turned fans off. Like you made it a net tournament, and you made the main talking point about how many millions of dollars they were winning. And I think the combination of those two things together just like immediately turned people off.
Maybe I'm not sure. Like, look, we've argued for years, literally written for a decade now, that money doesn't imbue like significance or history or meaning or passion to anything with golf, and we see that with the Ryder Cup and others.
Well, they ripped away the competitive nature of the event also by making it a net tournament.
Well, that's a big one. I actually don't know.
So they paired two things together that just like made people glaze over.
I'm open to both arguments, like that maybe they should just make it all about the money and lean into it. I'm honestly
Why?
open to both.
Who cares?
Because I don't. Yeah, I agree with that
What
argument
if it's
too.
5 million and 25?
What's the difference?
What
though?
does
like,
it matter?
just make it an identity. It needs something. I think
they already tried that.
JT's talked about it being nervous, like when a putt on 18 could be for a difference of like $7 million. Like we see
this in the regular weeks. We saw Lily Vu leave it 6 or 4 feet short on a 15-footer.
Yeah, I know. But that's not. This isn't that. That's because it's an open championship for women. This is not going to be that. So do they add the money to make it something?
We saw Adam Scott not be able to hit a wedge last week in contention. We see this. This is winning a golf tournament. No matter what the number is.
I'm talking about for external appeal, though, or external something. Just some sort of Joe Blow fan who's into NASCAR and college football. Like, I don't know. Maybe you want to. There's 30 million on the line this Sunday. Maybe they care more. I don't think that's the case, but you got to lean into some difference.
Why does golf always feel like it needs to water itself down to appeal to the NASCAR fan?
I don't know that it feels that way. I hope not.
Everything about golf is always about like all the new innovations about watering down the sport. And like, I have a legitimate question. Isn't what makes the game endlessly fascinating, compelling, and makes you obsessive about the game is the intricacies, the details, and the difficulty of the sport. Like what makes the game. The last 2 rounds of golf I've played.
Yeah, but you are a specific kind of audience. Very
well. So what makes me like endlessly fascinated with the game is the last time I played, I played yesterday and I played like trash. A week earlier, I played extraordinarily well. I didn't miss a shot and I walked away like I found it. I'm back. Then yesterday I played like trash and I'm completely flummoxed by the game. Like, to me, if you just never watered down the sport and just allowed it to just be its natural self, it would be more popular because that's what makes the game so fun.
We're talking about an organization with 7,500 meeting rooms on the other side of a moat. That's literally that's all they do. Like, they have so many meeting rooms, you get watered down.
You know what? The PGA Tour, I think in the last 30 years, has been one of the worst things for the overall game of golf.
Oh, my God. Where does the Creator Classic fit into that?
We got to do our Creator Classic.
Are you on Mason Nutt of Busta Jack Golf to win on Wednesday? Like, I don't know who... Like, I'm not... I hope everyone plays the Creator Classic, has fun, and it does well. I hope it succeeds, and everybody enjoys themselves. Like, I have no critique of the Creator Classic whatsoever. Rising tide lifts all boats. I think it's a bad idea for it to be on the PGA, like the PGA Tour putting itself all over it. Like, it's on PGAtour.com, power rankings. Let me tell you where I go for authenticity. Not fucking PGAtour.com. Not a PGA Tour anything. I think that's a bad idea. I mean, if I'm like Xander and I'm seeing the Creator Classic get like more run, and I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like, why is the PGA Tour putting its thumb on the scale of anything here? You just talked about how they water down and make everything worse. It feels bad to make it a wholly PGA Tour property. What is it doing for the PGA Tour? Separate questions and overall content. We've seen YouTube golf, like actual YouTube golf on Live. Didn't do great. I get these guys are a separate product and get bazillion views. Awesome. I hope that like it succeeds and kicks ass. What's the next thing? But anyways, I don't know. The Creator Classic is Wednesday at East Lake. I hope everybody does well and it kicks ass. I don't know what the overall larger content strategy is. But.
Something that I've been thinking about lately is how
power rankings
is how preposterous we deem tournament setup, like golf tournaments, setting up for a golf tournament. Golf courses, millions of people play golf courses every day. And for tournaments, we ship in like hundreds of volunteers to set up a golf course, to get like maybe like 3% more out of a golf course than your like member guest setup. And maybe the thing that I hate about the messaging the most about this week is like, we're giving, what is it, 16 or 12? 16 people the chance to play East Lake in tournament conditions. Like, what? I mean, like, does it matter? Couldn't you just have like 50 people out there on Wednesday? It wouldn't matter, you know? Like, that opening their doors to play a golf course. Like, you could host a giant, and it really wouldn't matter. Like, it's a golf course. And I get, like, you know, like this tournament setup, like those guys work their asses off. But it's literally to get like 1% more out of a golf course. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But
I hope it goes well. Everybody's going to celebrate themselves and say it's great and awesome, and I hope it goes well. I hope it does well. I don't know what it does for the tour. I know what it does for the creators.
I was with a creator yesterday. He was in Chicago still.
You know, Jesus Christ is my creator. I don't know. Like all this. The Book of Genesis is the real Creator Classic.
Who's your pick to win the Creator Classic?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't like Wes Bryant.
Do you see?
I love this. This is the best part of the Creator Classic for me. I don't watch YouTube golf. I'm old, but you know what scratches me where I itch? Chris Couch coming out of the woodwork to talk shit to Wes Bryant. What the hell? This is the great benefit of the Creator Classic for me. Chris Couch. Our old boy, 15-year major medical exemption.
Sit on my couch.
Says, if you don't win, you should be embarrassed on Twitter to Wes Bryant. He said, you should be embarrassed thinking you are still cool on Twitter, Wes Bryant says. Chris Couch says, what the F are you still talking about? You're a professional golfer playing against a bunch of YouTubers. If you don't win, you should be embarrassed. We got Chris freaking Couch coming out of nowhere shouting at Wes Bryant, who says, you know, and then George Bryant pops back that my made cut percentage as a full-time YouTube content creator is better than yours was as a full-time PGA Tour. I think he's 1 for 1, George Bryant. Full-time PGA Tour player. And no, I don't want you playing him in a match because I don't want to give you strokes. So we have Chris Couch talking shit to Wes Bryant on Twitter. Wes Bryant, pretty seems sensitive, a little touchy about this. Said I filmed 100+ long-form YouTube videos over the last 2 years and missed almost every cut on the PGA Tour and hardly ever practiced. Are people really mad that I'm in it?
I think I don't know if Wes Bryant should play.
Well, yeah, there's like, but he says he's filmed a bunch of videos and missed every cut. I don't know.
I got a question. Why are you prioritizing YouTube over professional golf? Like, it seems like you got this window. He's got some good finishes in the last couple of years. You got this window of time. You can't be a PGA Tour player for the rest of your life. You could be a YouTuber the rest of your life.
You could break 50. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't have any more on the creator. At the end of the day, these are all people who have immense audiences and make great content. But like
we should get you in the Creator Classic.
If you're Xander or you're Matthew Pavon, like you're looking at this and like these guys aren't as good as me. Like they can't do what I do. But
hold on. What's wrong with this?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
You're just being a bah humbug. You're being a Scrooge here.
I've not said nothing about the I've said nothing negative about the Creator Classic.
Nothing negative. Are you gonna roll? PJ, can you roll back the tapes?
I think running into the arms of the PGA Tour and making it essentially a PGA Tour production is probably not great for authentic.
I don't think this is the worst idea.
I don't either.
You just said it was a bad idea for the tour.
No, I didn't. I've never said it was a bad idea.
PJ has spread and been negative about the Creator Classic.
I have questions about what it does. What's next?
Independent party. Independent judge.
We got 16 people together with 1 billion views and 25 broadcasters with 1 billion views and followers. What's next? Great. I'm sure it'll get 1 billion views. What's next? What does it mean?
What harm is it doing, though? What harm is it doing?
Nothing. I'm asking a question. I didn't say it's doing harm. So what's next?
PJ, independent judge.
I wouldn't say you think it's the greatest thing in the world.
Okay, I didn't say that. That's not saying negative.
My question is,
I don't think the Tour Championship's the greatest thing in the world.
Well, that's fair. What is, like, how many views does this have to get for it to be
It's going to get 1 million views. It's going to get so many.
Is it
great?
Though?
Immaterial. Great.
It's got Paige in it. It's got, like, they're just throwing chum in the water. They got the Dude Perfect guy playing in it. Like, it's going to get millions of views.
The guy from Dude Perfect, unironically, in my opinion, is like one of the world's best athletes. That guy can do anything.
Are you like a Dude Perfect generation?
Yes.
Seems like it.
Yes, absolutely.
Unironically, you're putting him in Carl Lewis. You're gonna have him do the decathlon,
dude. That guy can pull, like, I've seen that guy pull like anything off. I don't know how good he is at golf, but that guy's nuts.
I like this perspective.
See, we're talking to the Z's now.
So it's going to get 1 billion views. Are your
PJ? Are your friends excited about the Creator Classic?
No, none of them know what it is.
Okay.
No.
Despite the tour promoting it more than its own finale.
I would argue that this is for PJ's generation.
I mean, it sounds like they're going to have a lot of fans, or some modicum of fans. They were hoping for 5,000. Probably more, there's a certain segment of people who are more interested in this. Rightfully so. That's your Creator Classic preview. I don't have a pick. Do you have a pick for the Tour Championship?
Are we doing net or are we doing gross?
That's the question. The gambling markets for this are disaster. They've got like 2 separate markets. You got a bunch of gross, you got a bunch of net. It's just all over the place. I think we got to do. Net. You just look at the board.
Well, see, I've got an issue here.
Xander.
I'm taking Scotty and Xander.
It's got to be Xander. Xander's the only option for the Earl of Eastlake. It's got to be Xander.
Should I take Playoff P?
Oh my God!
I hear Playoff P might not be a big fan of the golf course.
Playoff Patrick Cantlay.
It's a rumor mill. This is an unsubstantiated rumor mill.
Okay. He's had some enlightened takes on golf lately about Riviera and things like that,
Might not like this one.
Okay.
I guess the greens are really, really firm. That could be, this could be a reason to watch the Creator Classic, honestly. Is that they're the brand new greens. There's no thatch in them, so they're just rock hard.
Brand new.
You're going to just see some of the creators with aren't real players. Just get torched by the firm greens. I saw Mark Immelman's Fat Perez
breakdown. Swing
breakdown.
Yeah.
Fat Perez is going to have a hard time holding these greens because he can't launch the ball up into the air. Not a move that's going to produce a high trajectory that you need to hold brand new greens.
I can't believe the tour made Andrew Green pose for these terrible photos. He's holding an iPad.
Andrew Green's the perfect guy to have walk around and do like scripted walks and poses. He's like the most down to earth, normal dude.
Seems like the nicest guy, not a showman. And they got him like doing these these poses, like making him look like a dope. PGA Tour content. God.
Well, this is good for people. It's good pushing them outside their comfort zone. This is going to be good for the creators too. Good for the creators that could be outside their comfort zone.
I'm taking Xander. That's all I have on the Tour Championship. I can't believe we've not talked about anything else yet. Also in the schedule for the week,
I guess I'm taking Ludwig.
Okay, good pick. Hobbling along.
Wait, do I still have Rory?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Rory
you
could
saved
care.
Rory for this exact purpose.
You think Rory cares?
I mean, I think Rory likes money, so I think this event. I think he cares about this event because it's like a chance to just steal $25 million.
Run up the chat.
I mean, it's kind of an amazing event when you think about like the year that Scotty
coming around. You love the money.
So I think it's
you
just
love the
like
money. It's an amazing event.
It's just like an opportunity for some one of these guys to pull off an all-time heist. Whether it's Victor, whether it's Rory,
Keegan
whether it's Keegan. Yeah,
Keegan
like where somebody could just steal $25 billion from Scotty Scheffler or Xander Schauffele. And that would, Xander would get mad.
That's the playoffs. Draymond crying in the parking lot afterwards, begging Kevin Durant to come to him. That's the way the playoffs work. You can steal it from
an NBA championship gifted to LeBron by the NBA.
On the LPGA Tour,
we have his legacy up.
FM Championship.
The softest superstar of all time.
TPC Boston. FM Championship. New event at TPC Boston. Good to have
this?
Labor Day weekend. LPGA.
LPGA is playing at a TPC course.
TPC Boston.
Do you think
brand new. Fenway
do you think
Sports.
they're like Alliance gave them a discount on the rent?
No. But Fenway Sports set it up, so maybe there is a discount. FM Championship. Remember when we used to have the Deutsche Bank and whatever it used to be called at Labor Day weekend at TPC Boston?
Is that the FedEx Championship now at TPC Southwind? Do the records hold?
Who knows? I think it's gone. It just doesn't exist anymore. So this is a newly created tournament, 144 players for $3.8 million purse. That is on Golf Channel on tape delay, 7 to 9 p.m.
Great.
Then 2 to 5:30 and a 4:30 finish on Sunday. That's your women's LP. I don't know. If you're at the old course and you've been grinding over in Europe for the last month, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to show up the next week, wherever it is. But they're in Boston this weekend. Why not do that Labor Day Monday finish? I don't know. Seems like a chance to separate, but that's a Thursday to Sunday event. On the DP World Tour, we have the Betfred British Masters presented by Nick Faldo at the Belfry, Sutton Coldfield, England.
Great Ryder Cup course. One of the great Ryder Cup courses of our life.
In the newsletter this morning, I added a little asset sent from a source on the ground who says it's quite firm. Rough is down. It's not the usual sodden Belfry, or it's just soggy and just a mush. It says it's kind of firm. So the course still sinks. The resort is just atrocious and garish and just continues to be built up. But they have a plaque on the wall that claims it as the spiritual home of the Ryder Cup. Is what they're calling the Belfry now. The spiritual. So we've gone from the home of golf at the old course to the spiritual home of the Ryder Cup, the Belfry, just claiming it, putting a plaque on the wall that means it's true. That's your European Tour event. You still got some PGA Tour guys washing out, like Kyle Westmoreland, other guys over there, trying to bag some more points and come back to the tour. Notables, I don't have for that. Yeah, we do. Luke Donald, Tyrrell. Tyrrell's come over from Liv, looking for some OWGR points. The Hogards, Vince Norman, Thorbjorn, the Piss Bears over there in England, Sammy Valimaki, Matt Wallace, and Danny Willett. That's coffee golf on Golf Channel every morning, 7:30 to 12:30 in the morning. Then elsewhere, we have the Curtis Cup at Sunningdale. This is overseas this year in England. This is obviously the amateur women's match play event. We have actual TV coverage, which is wonderful for this. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It is 8 to 12:30 on Golf Channel, then a finish on Peacock, and then 8 to noon on Saturday, and finishing 10:30 a.m. on Sunday on Golf Channel. So that will be on the morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from Sunningdale. Also, they announced this week Royal Dornick will host the next year GBI based Curtis Cup. So I think we're going. I think it's Marion last one, Sunningdale this one,
Pine Valley.
I think the next one over here is National Golf Links, Royal Dornick, then Pine Valley. And Bandon's out there too as a potential another next U.S. site. It's just
I say this run. and you know, if it's at Bandon Dunes, it's a big letdown compared to the others.
I say that before.
I say that as I appreciate Bandon Dunes, but and compare it's not even NGLA, in the same stratosphere as the other golf courses. Like
still cool. Yeah. Great road.
And now if they host a Pacific Dunes, then you get closer to the same stratosphere. But anyways,
that's event of the week.
I got to do a little cleanup here.
Oh God.
And apologize. Issue an apology.
Yeah.
We had an epic game within the game last week. Do you remember what it was? Just PJ.
Piss Bear versus Piss Bear Jr.
Yeah.
Who won?
Piss Bear Jr. Great performance. T5 last week at the Danish Open.
Oh,
Just
God.
dusted
Young
his
man's
dad.
game.
Dusted his dad, who finished T42, tied with the Bullet, Marcus Armitage, fellow podcaster Eddie Pepperell, and fellow podcaster Beef Johnston.
There's a lot of podcasters out there. Too many, some would say.
Meanwhile, Piss Bear Jr., Jakob Skov Olesen, tied with Joe Dean, our favorite
Is it
accountant.
Jakob or Jacob?
I think it's
Just be a straight up Jacob.
Who knows? Who could say?
Who knows? Who
We're
knows?
just guessing here.
All right. That's it. You know, who knows getting a lot of run for the Belfry is a Bumblebee. Trendy pick. Who's tatted up. He has like a full sleeve. Full, yes.
God, I hope
This
he wears
right
the
on-
yellow
it's
and
like
black
this
outfit again.
Giant lion with like a cross and the lions. Like I was looking at pictures of the Andy Sullivan, full tat down the. I think
That's an old school nickname, the Bumblebee.
Oh yeah. That does it. I have a lot more to talk about, but we'll bump that to Friday.
I can't wait to do Creator Classic recap on Friday.
I can't wait either. I want
you gonna
the
lock
view
in?
count. I want to know. Yeah, I'm going to watch it. I want to know
gonna
how
be
it's
on the
changed
golf
golf
course.
forever.
I'm gonna have to watch it tonight.
Okay. It's on YouTube. I think Peacock
Can I watch
Plus.
it tonight?
I don't know.
I mean, if it's on YouTube, presumably it'll be there for your
Playable.
viewing pleasure.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're our resident YouTube expert, PJ.
I try.
All
Hey,
right.
PJ, is there a trophy that's simply known by its sponsor that has any kind of resonance, prominence, or respect in all of golf? Like, it is literally a
What about
multinational
the propeller?
corporation. No, it's not like the Sugar Bowl, the All-State Sugar Bowl. Like, yeah, but you still call it the Sugar Bowl. The trophy that we're supposed to make this great thing is honestly literally called the FedEx Cup Trophy, the Courier Cup Trophy.
What
So
happens when FedEx drops its sponsorship?
We become Northwest, like the FedEx Field. They're calling it Northwest Field here in Eastern Washington, D.C. I don't know. Then you're up a creek. It's a problem with naming your trophy after simply the sponsor and nothing else. So
We didn't,
all right.
sadly, we didn't do a FedEx Cup fact. So
I
we'll have
think
to
we
come.
talked
We'll have to
plenty.
do two
No,
for Friday.
We did many facts. Many facts were brought to you during the course of this discussion about Eastlake and other subjects. We'll talk to you guys on Friday. Bye.
Bye.